All right, cool. I will call to order the City of Verona Plan Commission meeting for Wednesday, April 8th, 2020 at 6:37 p.m. We'll begin with the roll.
So we're going to do this again. So if anyone watching on YouTube, we've done this twice now, and now I hit the correct button. So Commissioner Tucker Long.
Here.
Commissioner Bear.
Here.
Commissioner Manley.
Here.
Mayor Diaz.
Here.
Alderperson Cole.
Here.
Commissioner Lytle.
Here.
Commissioner Heinzen.
Here.
All right. So that's the second time we've done it, and that's actually a lot better than the first time. So nice job, everybody. So I have some kind of basic instructions. I think hopefully now everyone who's watching the attendees can now hopefully see the screen. So all the attendees are automatically muted. Public comment is not on the agenda tonight, so that has been removed because this is just a difficult form to potentially have that in place. So that is not on the agenda tonight. And then anyone who is kind of on the computer right now and unable to hear, you can join by calling in, and that number is on the screen before you, and the access code is on there as well. So it does require an access code to then listen on the phone as well. Some basic instructions for the Plan Commission members. Typically, if you could keep your mics muted when you're not talking, it will help cut down on kind of the background noise. That's no different than the council chamber. So when you're not talking, obviously you don't have the button lit green, but when you want to talk, you push your button. So no different than the council chambers. And then tonight, we'll be taking all votes by roll call. So when we get to that point, please make sure that you unmute your microphone when we get to that. Any questions from the Plan Commission just about process and how this will hopefully work tonight?
And a reminder to use the chat feature if you want to be called on. All right, not seeing anyone typing. And just to add one quick thing is that we hope to get more familiar with the process and make it easier for the public to comment as well. But that's something we're working on. So if there are no other questions, we will, for real this time, move on to item 3, which is discussion and possible action regarding site plan review for PC name tag to allow for the construction of an addition onto the existing building located at 124 Horizon Drive. Mr. Sayer.
Thank you. So PC name tag is requesting a site plan approval for a building addition at 124 Horizon Drive. 124 Horizon Drive is located on red on the screen before you. It's actually across the street from the Super 8 Motel and just north of Park Printing. The applicant is requesting an addition of 2,535 square feet. That'd be for a work area and a break room area. And this does require, once again, approval from the Plan Commission. The addition would be located at the southeast corner of the building. It's kind of shown on the screen here and highlighted. I don't think you can see my cursor now that I'm moving it around, but is where that kind of dot is pointing to. In essence, this will probably be most likely the last addition onto the building. There really isn't much more space on the site. We did approve an addition on the property in 2013 that was about 8,000 square feet. This one of 2,500 square feet most likely maxes out the property due to parking and due to the space constraints. The proposed addition does meet all the required setbacks. As part of this, the applicant's looking for a 0 lot line setback to the south. It wouldn't be 0, but it'd be 7.5 feet. As part of the process, the applicant did receive approval and a letter from Park Printing basically agreeing to that setback. That's typically how we've done that in the past, where if an applicant wants to go with that 0-foot setback, they have to get authorization from the adjacent property owner. Access to the site will remain the same from Horizon Drive. Staff has no concerns with the access. Parking is sufficient as well. The applicant did complete a parking expansion about a year or two ago and expanded more parking, and staff has no concerns with that. Part of the project, additional landscaping would be added, which is shown on the screen before you. There's some additional landscaping along Horizon Drive and also along the building expansion area. The landscaping plan meets the ordinance requirements and staff has no concerns. The applicant and city engineer have had discussions regarding drainage and stormwater on the property. Staff has no concerns with drainage or stormwater at this time. Architecturally, the building addition would match what's out there today. The current building consists of ephes and some windows. It would fit, it would match, and once again, staff has no concerns with it. So that staff recommends the Plan Commission approve the site plan for PC name tag located at 124 Horizon Drive.
Thank you for that explanation. Questions, comments, or motions from the Plan Commission?
I think Scott's waving his hand.
Oh, Scott, I can't. Okay, yeah,
Sorry.
Commissioner Manley.
Sorry, I'll try and be a little more obvious. I wouldn't want to cut off any debate if people have anything to say, but I think that this seems like a very reasonable and approvable project. I'd make a motion to, are we doing a Plan Commission approval or a recommendation to the City Council to approve
It'd be Plan Commission approval, so it'd be a motion to approve.
the site plan?
Yes.
Okay, so moved.
Motion by Commissioner Manley. Is there a second? I think Commissioner Bear was first, so I'm going to say seconded by Commissioner Bear. Commissioner Manley, anything to add to the motion?
No, thank you.
Motion before the body. Anyone have any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing shaking heads and not seeing anyone type into the chat. Give it a few more seconds just in case. I would say we would have Mr. Sayer read the roll.
Commissioner Bear?
Aye.
Alderperson Cole?
Aye.
Commissioner Manley?
Aye.
Commissioner Lytle?
Aye.
Commissioner Tucker Long?
Aye.
Commissioner Heinzen?
Aye.
Mayor Diaz?
Aye. And it passes unanimously. With that, we will move on to item 4, which is discussion and possible action regarding a certified survey map to modify the shared property line between the existing lots 9 and 10 of the Verona Technology Park plat located at the corner of Thousand Oaks Trail and John P. Livesey Boulevard. Mr. Sayer.
Thank you. This next item is for a 2-lot CSM at the corner of County Highway M and Thousand Oaks Trail. The property in question is highlighted in red on the screen before you. The proposed CSM would create 2 lots. Lot 1 is highlighted in blue. Lot 2 is highlighted in the orange color. Lot 1 would contain the future building for KSW construction. We provided an initial review of that project, I want to say a month or 2 ago. But Lot 2 would then be basically the leftover remnant of what's out there today. Staff has no concerns with the CSM. It is kind of consistent with kind of the lot sizes in that development. Further, it conforms to the zoning ordinance requirements. There's also a note on the CSM that says the lots of the certified survey map are subject to a shared access and utility easement agreement to be recorded by a separate instrument. The intent of that is a shared access point between lots 1 and lot 2. So that staff does recommend, the Plan Commission recommend the Common Council approve the certified survey map for the Verona Technology Park. And if there's a recommendation tonight, this would move on to the Common Council meeting virtually next Monday night. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that explanation. Questions, comments, or motions on this item? Commissioner Lytle.
Thank you, Mayor Diaz. Just reconfirming the site plan that we reviewed previously. Can you refresh my memory? Was that an initial review, or was the site plan for KSW moved through the approval process?
Sure, that was an initial review, and that was for their office building on lot 1 and then potentially an additional building on lot 2. Staff is currently reviewing their office building on Lot 1, and we anticipate that going to the May Plan Commission meeting for potential site plan review. So that was, yes, it's been before you, but it has not been approved yet. But we anticipate it coming back to you most likely in May.
Thank you.
Questions, comments, or motions on the item? Commissioner Tucker Long.
I noticed that you recommend that a stormwater management agreement occur between the two lots. Is that something that needs to be a part of what we are deciding today, or is that just a blanket recommendation for them, for the applicant?
It doesn't need to be a condition. You know, we kind of pointed that out to the applicants because it would make a lot of sense to combine those stormwater facilities into one pond. And since the applicant is the owner right now is selling Lot 1 to KSW Construction, we felt it would be appropriate to, you know, encourage them to do that. It just makes sense to combine those facilities. Then we get away from having too many of these smaller ponds. So no, it doesn't need to be conditioned on there, and the both applicants are aware of that comment.
Questions, comments, motions on this item? Commissioner Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll move to recommend that the Common Council approve the certified survey map for the Verona Technology Park.
Motion by Commissioner Bear. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tucker Long, I think was first. Anything to add, Commissioner Bear?
No, thank you.
Motion before the body. Questions, comments on the motion? Just trying to be, in case anyone's slow on the chat. All right, seeing no further discussion, if Mr. Sayer would read the roll.
Commissioner Lytle,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucker Long,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinzen,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Bear,
Aye.
Alderperson Cole,
Aye.
Commissioner Manley.
Aye.
And it passes. With that, we'll move on to item 5, which is a discussion and possible action regarding a certified survey map to create one lot located at 319 Lincoln Street. Mr. Sayer.
Thank you. So this is another CSM located at 319 Lincoln Street. This is actually a city-driven project. So the city is in the process of acquiring some property in this location. We're going to be replacing our East Side Interceptor, which runs along the Badger Mill Creek. And as part of that, we need to acquire some property in the area. So as part of that, we are acquiring some land at 319 Lincoln Street, which is highlighted in red on the screen before you. As part of that, we're creating Lot 1. Lot 1 would be retained by the existing property owner. There's currently a single-family house there, and they plan to keep the house there. And then the remaining portion, which is Outlot 2, which encumbers the area behind the red line there and part of that pond area, basically abutting the creek, that would be acquired for both some park purposes, but then also, more importantly, the East Side Interceptor project. Most of this property, if not all of it, of what the city is acquiring is in the floodplain and wetland. And this will help assist basically with our East Side Interceptor project. So that staff recommends, the Plan Commission recommend the Common Council approval of the certified survey map to create one lot at 319 Lincoln Street.
Thank you for that explanation. Questions, comments, or motions on this item? Commissioner Lytle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Adam, if you wouldn't mind, I'm still a little unclear. The certified survey map that I see just identifies one lot that in general has a area greater than the existing lot line. So lot one would be owned by the current, does lot one include the existing house, but there's just access or some easement granted to the city for lot one, or can you clarify?
Sure. So lot one, and I haven't been able to figure out my cursor issue here yet. Lot one would be that red kind of outline on the screen before you. That's a house that's currently there. If you kind of can see on the screen is around the pond, there's that second lot. That's, I think, about 12 to 15 acres in size. What we're doing is modifying the lot lines around this house to incorporate some land that's currently as part of this outlot one. And then outlot one would remain and be owned by the city. So in essence, the boundaries of this lot one, which is currently lot 21, and you can kind of see the 21 above the lot one, is being expanded and made larger. And then the city is acquiring the leftovers of that outlot one on the screen. Does that make sense? Does that help?
Yes, thank you. And a follow-up, if I may.
Of course.
So the intention for the access here is to assist with stormwater and interceptor. Is it also planned to provide public access via this easement to the floodplain area, or is that going to be marked as no public access, or how does that plan to be handled?
I believe the intent is, most of this would be for that east side interceptor project. We are looking at some bike and ped improvements in this area. I don't think that's been finalized of how that's going to work. I think the bike and ped improvements are going to dovetail with the access that we need for the interceptor pipe. There would potentially be access, to this property just because it's owned by the city. But quite honestly, if you get back there, it's pretty wet, especially this time of year. But it would potentially be available as open space and access.
Great, thank you.
All right. Any questions or comments or motions on this item? Commissioner Tucker Long.
Okay. I move that the Plan Commission recommends to the Common Council to approve the certified survey map located at 319 Lincoln Street.
Motion by Commissioner Tucker Long. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Manley, I think. Anything to add, Commissioner Tucker Long? Motion before the body. Questions, comments on the motion? All right. Seeing no chat or people waving at me on their webcams, Mr. Sayer, if you could read the roll.
Commissioner Tucker Long,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinzen,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz,
Aye.
Commissioner Bear,
Aye.
Alderperson Cole,
Aye.
Commissioner Manley,
Aye.
Commissioner Lytle.
Aye.
And that motion passes. Next, we'll move on to item 6, which is adjournment. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
Motion by Alder Cole, I believe. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Tucker Long. And based on our description, I will have Mr. Sayer read the roll on this.
Commissioner Bear,
Aye.
Alderperson Cole,
Aye.
Commissioner Manley,
Aye.
Commissioner Lytle,
Aye.
Commissioner Tucker Long,
Aye.
Commissioner Heinzen,
Aye.
Mayor Diaz.
Aye. And with that, we are adjourned at 6:57. Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye.